I'm officially sounding the Q4 alarm bell. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to look at the 11 items that sold on eBay over the weekend. But before we get into it, my name is Brian, and I'm a reseller. I sell on eBay in the everything category. So I go to garage sales, estate sales, Facebook, thrift stores, and find items to sell on eBay. I sell in the toys, tools, pots, pans, clothing, shoes, you name it. I'm probably trying to sell it on eBay for a profit. Most of the time it works. All right, well, it is officially, well, I think we got another day, but Q4. So this is the last day of Q3. We've got one more day until Q4. Actually, did I get that wrong? I did. We have one more day of Q3 tomorrow. For some reason, I thought today was the 30th. So Q4 is here, and if you're a reseller, you know what that means. If you're new to reselling, Q4 is the biggest time of year for selling on eBay. So it's, for me, what that means is I want to have all my jackets, sweaters, jeans, flannels, and basically anything with long sleeves or long legs, I want to make sure that it's listed on eBay. And then from, beyond clothing, it's just like list everything else. You never know what people are looking for in Q4. Are they looking for, something to cook with for a holiday meal? Are they looking for a gift? Are they looking for something for themselves, to wear? People are looking for so much stuff. And in Q4, that just really ramps up. People start spending and spending and spending. I know that because sometimes in Q4 I spend and spend and spend. But Q4 is here. It is a big time of year. I just want to make sure everybody is like, I have to be prepared for Q4. I'm not prepared. I'm ahead of last year. Last year I didn't really start preparing for Q4 until about halfway through Q4, which is the wrong time to do that. But right now, I've got a bunch of stuff to list, and I'm going to be working on that. I'm going to show you a couple things I'll be listing here, just to give you an example. So, jackets. You want to look for good brands like Snap-on. Something my dad picked up for me at a garage sale for 10 bucks. Complete with cat hair inside, so I have to clean that out. Florence Marine, specialty marine brand of jackets. Never heard of it, found it at Goodwill. Turns out these things sell. Wool sweaters, found this really nice 100% wool Lacoste sweater at Goodwill for $7.79 plus tax. That's a killer deal for that. I can't wait to get that thing sold. All right, well, I don't know that I need to yell anymore about Q4, but Q4. Make sure you're ready for it. This is the time you want to have as much stuff listed as possible. Everyone does it in different methods. Some people list everything at once. Some people list stuff out at 5, 10, 15 items a week, or however they do it. Personally, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to list everything I have as fast as I can. And then to keep the new listings going, I'm going to make sure I'm delisting or relisting my store each week to refresh the items so that they'll look new to people that are seeing them. So, all right, enough about Q4 for now. It's still Q3 for today and tomorrow. So let's talk about the 11 items that sold on eBay over the weekend. It was a pretty good weekend. I did do a 25% off store sale this weekend. Again, last week I did 22. It performed poorly. I don't know if that's because of the sale. It's because I hadn't been listing as many items. I don't know, but I did list new items last week. In fact, 1, 2, 3 of the 11 items that sold are items that sold last week, or that I listed last week. So we're going to talk through them in the order that I sold them in. I'll tell you what I paid for them, where I bought them, how much I sold them for, and then at the very end, I'll put up like all the profit and everything at the very end because I'm not calculating that on the fly today. Total sales were $433.70. I do know that over the weekend. That's item sales. I didn't include the shipping in that. That's just total item revenue. All right, let's look at these Starbucks cups. You've seen my past videos. You may have seen these. I had 4 of these. This is the last one. to sell. I picked these up at a garage sale for $2.50 each. These are from 2021. Yeah, 2021 holiday cups. Brand new. Paid $2.50. Sold these for $8.89 plus shipping. What else? Next thing that sold. This was a cool one. I was wondering when this was going to sell. This is a really cool clock. The plane slides back and forth on here. You can put it wherever you want it. Just battery operated on the back. The whole bracket lifts out on the back there. This was in my boys' room when they were little kids. I mean, little bitty. And we had it hanging up in their room. So my wife and I bought this. We paid $120 for it. The price tag's still back there. Back in 2007. I don't know what it would cost now. But when my first son was born, we got it to put in his room at a little boutique up in Tulsa. And we just had it laying around. My wife's like, you know, we can sell it. So it's like, okay. So ended up selling that for $82.81 plus shipping. Normally on personal items, I sell them for less than, you know, usually I sell them for less than I paid for them, which I did there. And I zero out the profit, but I'm looking at that and it's such a big gap. And I don't know if I should list it as selling it as a loss because I paid $120 and now it'd be worth a lot more probably, or because it's used. I don't know. I'm probably just going to zero out the profit. So $82.81 plus shipping on that one. The next item that sold, this was not a great buy. I wrote down $2, but I think I paid more for that. I looked back on Flipwise, which is what I use. I've talked about that a little bit to keep all my stuff straight. Nope, I was wrong. I paid $1.50 for that. I forgot because it was $2 and then I got a deal on everything. So makes it not as much of a bad buy as I thought. This is so I use Flipwise to keep track of all of my financials. They have great reporting, great sales reporting. So that's what I use. Justin over at Justin Resells does that, and he co-created it, but really cool software. I really like it a lot. Okay, so this is a Pampered Chef. This is a lettuce like salad cutter. You put and then it's got a place for utensils, so you can cut up your salad, your little sauce, or your salad dressing sauce. I don't know, some people probably call it sauce, but it's like a little meal kit for your salad. You can put all your toppings up and stuff up there. Pretty cool little bowl. Picked it up for $1.50 at a garage sale. Sold it for $7.42 plus shipping. Not a great one, but okay. Had that one for a few months, probably like 5 months. Next item is this OU University of Oklahoma Sooners hat. My dad picked this up at a garage sale for $4 and sold it for $10.28 plus shipping. On hats, I do flat shipping, usually $6.99 to $7.99 depending on the hat. Next item is an item that I listed last week. Is this 15-inch Pampered Chef pizza stone, well seasoned. Picked this up. This wasn't a great one. I paid too much. I paid $8.50 for this at I say that I paid $8.50 for it at Goodwill. I sold it for $17 plus shipping. I don't mind that a lot because I tend to sell these pretty fast. I listed it last week and I sold it last week. So pizza stones, you have to double check me, but I think they're probably like 125, 150% sell-through rate. As long as you get them priced right. If you don't have them priced right, the sell-through rate's not going to matter for you. But yeah, so sold that one on the store sale, and then somebody sent me an offer for like an extra $1 or $2 off or something like that, and so I took it. Next item, this one wasn't necessarily a great one. I picked this up at a garage sale up in Iowa. I'm not going to get it all out of here because it's kind of packed up, but it's called a Lucky Fish Finder. It's like a little mobile fish finder. You can mount it to a boat, and then you can drop the little sonar piece down. It's got a little float on it. Pretty cool little deal. I picked it up for $5. I must have been looking at new ones whenever I was comping it because I thought it was worth more. I listed it and ended up selling it for $12.95 plus shipping. So not awesome. They're all selling after shipping for around 20 bucks. So, but I sold it in just a couple of days, so can't get too mad about that. Next item up is this OSU. So we got a little bit of bedlam going on here. We've got OU over here and OSU here. This is a really cool alumni store shirt. It's got that same kind of like OSU call out on the sleeves. Really, really cool piece. It's a vintage piece I picked up at Goodwill for $7.38 and sold it for $18.67 plus shipping on that one. More personal items sold. It's this set of 3 Fiesta Ware little teacups. Little peach colored one there. Those were my wife's. As she goes through and we were looking at her Fiesta Ware, we're getting rid of more and more of it just because we've got so much. So personal items, sold the set for $9.67 plus shipping on those. Next one. This one came through yesterday. I was so happy to see this sale. So happy to see this sale. I picked up these Lucchese lizard skin boots, women's boots, at a garage sale on a Saturday morning about 3 months ago. Great shape. Really, really good shape. In fact, look at the bottoms on these are just in great shape. A little bit of scuffs, a little bit of wear, but not much. I mean, just not much at all. It was a pretty nice garage sale. They had some pretty nice things there, and I saw those boots sitting under a table. They had a couple pair of boots sitting under a table, and I saw those. I picked one up. I saw that it said Lucchese inside, and I was like, man, these are going to be expensive. These are, because they're expensive. They're really expensive boots, brand new. And I said, hey, just curious how much you're asking for your boots. And she goes, oh, they're $30. I was like, really? Okay. So I knew they were lizard skin, and I was like, I'll take a chance on them. So I didn't even comp them. I just bought them. And ended up selling them on the store sale, but sold them for $224.92 plus shipping. So when that happened, I was thrilled. I was at the dining room table. I think I was editing a video or something, and I stood up and I was like, "Hey, just sold some boots for $225 that I paid $30 for." And anyhow, my wife was excited about that too. All right. Next is this Lufkin. This is like an angle finder, magnetic angle finder with a level on it, and I don't know much about them. I thought they were cool, and I bought 3 of them at a garage sale for $4 a piece. I wanted to keep one for myself, so I was like, I'll sell the other 2, pay for the one I keep. So paid for, sold it for $11.17 free shipping. They were all selling for about $12.95 free shipping or something like that, but on sale it ended up selling for $11.17, and that's free shipping. Probably cost me under $5, probably about $4.75 to ship that. I'll put the number up on the screen. See how close I am to $4.75 to ship that. So still make some money on it. And then the last item that sold is another item that I listed this week. It's a Suzuki motorcycle toolkit. So this mounts under the seat, the back of the seat of the motorcycle. And then it's got a little toolkit in here to work on your motorcycle. Different size wrenches, screwdrivers, and that kind of stuff specific to the parts on those motorcycles. So I picked this up at a garage sale for $2 and sold it pretty fast. Sold it over the weekend for $29.92 plus shipping, which I had it at $39.89 and then 25% off. Ended up selling for $29.92. But yeah, and that's it. That's the 11th item that sold over the weekend. It was It wasn't the best weekend I've ever had. It was far from the worst weekend I ever had. It was much better than last weekend, for sure. But I think, you know, paying attention to my store, getting more items listed was pretty good. For the week, I think I ended somewhere around 23 or 24 items sold, which I was still, after listing, I was still sitting right under 300 because I'd sold down. And so if I'm trying to sell 1% of my inventory per day in units, I'm trying to sell 3 items a day, 7 days a week. I'm trying to sell 21 items a week at least, as a, you know, kind of baseline metric for sales. And surpassed that, so glad to see that. And then I'll be interested to see what total sales for the week were, because Tuesday was pretty good. The other days I was selling some stuff as well. So yeah, we'll just see how everything shakes out for the week. And that's about it. That's it. I'm not gonna drag this video out. I've got a lot of stuff to do. I've got to pack all the orders. I'm building a new photo station. I'll show you that in a different video. Just had a different idea for it's going to be set up the same way, but I have a different idea for how the actual thing is going to be built, the base of it, the platform. So, and then I got to go work on the house. So I got to do some work up in the attic, which is always exciting. That's it's not going to be a lot of fun, but it's going to be an adventure for sure. All right. If you have any comments or questions, please leave those down in the comment section, and I'll make sure and I get back to you. And until next time, have a great day.